And maybe I'll even open my Zoom, because Shannon said that she'll come and hang out and draw with me. So any of you who want to draw with me can come draw with me now on YouTube, because I need to practice doing 10-minute portraits, because I have a job this week, 2 days of 8-hour 10-minute portraits. And I feel like the more practice, the better. So come on over, come sketch with me. Wave, 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 all of these little friends here, these cute little profile pictures. Come and draw with me. All right, so Zoom is open in case anyone wants to get in. And we're just going to do it. I'm going to hit... Oh, I've already done it. I've already hit go live. There are 3 people here watching my most spontaneous live stream ever. So cool. And there's some people here, there's some people there. Yes, Ike, so nice that you could spontaneously jump on here. And how good. We all love a Larry Davey portrait. So so let's sketch Larry Davey portraits. And Shannon, if you want to come into Zoom, I'll make you co-host and you can let people in or kick them out. Hey, Kathy. All right. Those are Shannon numbers. Oh, there are 9 people here. I can't believe it. There are already 9 people here. Hola, Luisa. Yeah. I make myself big over here. I don't know. I'm on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. I'd recommend you come over to YouTube, because then you'll get to see the awesome reference. And yeah, I'm just spontaneously multitasking things. Yes, this was unexpected. Unexpected for me too. Oh, Sesko, and you're about to do some portraits too. Yeah, perfect timing. This is the time to do it. Thank you for spontaneously jumping on and joining me here. Hi, Michaela. Ciao, ciao. All right, let's do it. Without further ado, amazing reference, Larry Davey. Check out David on Instagram. David has been our guest twice on Drawn Together, and he's going to join us again, because he's got a lot of stories to share. Hi, Shannon. So Zoom is open for those of you who know how to get there. Shannon's the co-host, the gatekeeper. Well, actually, the gate is open, but Shannon will push people out of the gate if they're unkind. Yeah, come on over to YouTube, Instagram. And all right, I can't hear you, Shannon. Is that me? Oh, now I can hear you. All right. So thank you, the 8 of you on YouTube, for being here. I have my timer up on the iPad at the moment. And just as an experiment, I'm going to leave Instagram open, so I won't have the timer up here. But I'll tell you when things are about to come to a close. And I had some success towards the end of Saturday's live stream using the green pencil to start with. So I'm going to do that. I don't know how long the stream is going to go for, but let's do some 10-minute portraits starting now. Green glasses, green pencil. I'm working at a smaller format than usual. This is about postcard size. So on this sheet, this is Hahnemühle aquarelle paper. And this is what I used for some of the pieces on Saturday. And I had 4 portraits on a page, and this is going to be 6 on a page. So maybe we'll do 6 today and see how that works out. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming to Berlin on the weekend, on Friday. And I've got 8.5 people coming to my workshop so far. So there are 3 spots left, I think. If anyone is undecided or is just hearing about it for the first time, I'm teaching a live workshop in Berlin on Sunday, and Friday and Saturday I'm going to be at the KaDeWe doing 10-minute portraits at a parfumerie. So I am practicing for that job constantly. I've been practicing the past years and just can't get enough practice. So here we are, practicing some more. I had a spontaneous commission today where someone was like, oh, can you draw this person? And so it needed to look like them, and it was someone I knew. And it took me a lot longer than 10 minutes, maybe because I knew them. But as I was doing that, I was like, oh, I think I need some more 10-minute practice. So hello, Instagram. You can come over and draw with me on YouTube if you like. If you'd like to see what I'm doing, I can pick it up and show you in a moment. But I'm doing 10-minute portraits. I have Zoom open, so I can chat with Kathy and Shannon. Yeah, and you can come do some 10-minute portrait practice with me. How you doing, Kathy and Shannon? And hello, my 10 friends on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me spontaneously. Who are you? Where are you watching from? What are you sketching with today? Yeah, so Larry is an incredible street photographer from Boston and was our second guest on the Drawn Together show. And after last week's show, he got in touch and was like, oh, I've got so many stories. Should we like catch up again? Let's do it again. And that's so nice, just having a guest, a past guest reach out and be like, let's do it again. And it's been so cool. I've seen so many of you doing work inspired by David's photography. And it's always so great to see. So it's high time I do some more sketches from David's portraiture. Isn't David great, Shannon? He was such a cool guest, so inspiring. The way he's... I can hear you now. Yeah. Yeah. I remember the first time, the first chat we had with David on Drawn Together. It was just so, like, we were buzzing afterwards, like, wow, he's so into it, and we were so into it, so into portraiture, and just his enthusiasm and passion for street photography. It was just so cool. Just the way he just gets out there and just does it, and lots of great things. If you haven't seen that, check out. There are 2 David Callinan Drawn Together episodes so far. And for those, the one of you who are looking or watching on Instagram, come over to YouTube. Much cooler on YouTube, and you can draw along with me. All right, if there's just one person, I might end the Instagram live stream. And I don't. It's not going to be distracting me down there. This is a fun size to work at, postcard size. All right, only one person. Bye-bye. Thanks, Instagram. All right, I'm just going to pause my timer for a moment. Oh, I'm going to keep doing it. 14 on YouTube. That's amazing. Thank you for jumping on here. Yes, Judith, I'm multitasking. I like to use, I've got like five apps open at once. But now I just closed Instagram, so I'm just going to be streaming here. Yeah, and I just need practice. Who doesn't need practice? Keep practicing. Oh, I just saw on Instagram, Let's Face It 2024. Until the end of December, I'm going to be teaching Let's Face It, just in case you want to know. Here are some of the offerings. So Let's Face It next year, I'll be teaching 2 classes, and until the end of the year, there's early bird pricing still at $129 for 52 tutorials, 1 every week. What am I doing here? Just go for it. Don't have too much time to think. Practice, practice. Just go. Paint, paint, paint. Yeah, so I'm one of the artists that was invited to teach, and Let's Face It. And I just saw, so I just, it was a sign to tell all of you that it's a year-long portraiture art extravaganza with 26 artists teaching classes, and you get these weekly tutorials. So if you're interested in such things, check that out, because it's early bird pricing until the end of the year. And follow the link on my link tree to get there, because then I get a commission if you follow my special link. But you don't have to do that, just if you want to, because it's pretty cool. Other questions in the chat on Instagram? Do some more multitasking. I'll answer. Ask me anything. when you're not busy sketching, or if you're just here to watch. Yeah, I'm fired up. Should I do more spontaneous live streams? I'm just like, should I just do it? Should I just live stream right now? It was like 20 minutes from me thinking I'm going to do it to doing it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'd be so cool. Yeah, so I'm a big moment. Yeah. Yeah, just the like embodied creative force of can you call it barbarism? Because he's actually a barber. Barbary and photography. What can we call being a barber? The barber energy. The wellness industry, industrial wellness. Yeah, I'm practicing with color. So Shannon was telling me I should go hard with the dark reds because there's a special color scheme that I'm going to try and incorporate into the portraits I'll be doing. This is watercolor, yeah. This is watercolor. So brave. Oh yeah, it's intimidating. I don't have the guts to do 10-minute watercolor, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, exactly. So the client that I will be sketching for on the weekend, they want watercolor, and if it were up to me, I'd probably use pencils and ink. It's like, all right, then it's time to push myself, push the boundaries, and it's time to level up my watercolor sketching. Oh, cool. It is. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Like just being outside, painting, straight to paint. That sounds amazing. All right. All right. Happy cooking. Oh, what have I done here? I was like, oh, I need to darken those glasses. I'm like, well, the lenses now, they're so light. All right. That was our 10 minutes chime, if you heard that. You following the rules? That's admirable. Part of my 10 minutes is also perhaps a little bit of bonus time. If with 1 extra minute I can make it look a bit better, like just add a bit of definition anywhere that might need it. All right, but this is our first 10-minute portrait of the day. I thought it was interesting on Saturday when I was talking about that watercolor challenge I did, where I did 30 portraits in 30 days. And then, oh, that is a very good question, Seskon. I'm not sure yet. When I do the live sketches, am I going to be talking to them or they're sitting still? I don't know yet. I have done both. I've been at an event where I was sitting with the guests, just sitting across from me. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So here's our next reference. So yeah, I have I have had them sitting across from me, and I found it really challenging because I just love chatting, and they would be moving. So I'm quite comfortable working from photo reference, but I think it's really special, the live experience, to actually be sitting with someone. Like just to have that exchange is actually really cool. So I'm open to both happening, and maybe it depends on their personal preference. I don't totally know what the event's going to be like that I'm sketching at. So I'll see on the day whether it's seems like a good idea to take a reference photo of the people I'm sketching. Because yeah, there was another event I sketched at where they were coming and going, and they had they were busy. So I took photos and then I worked from photos. And this time I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. All right, next portrait. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, so 10-minute portraits. It'll be very interesting. Apparently it's quite a posh place where I'm going to be working. And I suspect that it's going to be, I'll be sketching portraits of the customers, the clients at the parfumerie, I imagine. And so I haven't really been told a lot about it, but I'm imagining it's kind of like a Christmas gift to the customers. And it's supposed to be in Christmassy kind of colors. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be fun. And is anyone here watching this, either live or in the replay, in Berlin? Because I'm thinking I'm going to do the workshop. There are 3 spots left for anyone who wants to join. But also, I finished at 8 p.m. I'm just going to be hanging out. So if anyone wants to hang out with me and come sketching or just chat or whatever, that would be cool. I've also had a couple of people ask if I would do the workshop I'm going to do in Berlin. Would I do that in Göttingen, where I live? I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. So it's quite central Germany. And in case anyone wants to come along to that, I don't know when it's going to be yet, but I'll keep you notified. So Lisa's here again. Lisa won the giveaway on the weekend. I guess I could do a giveaway for this session too. Put in hashtag I want to win in the chat, and you might win one of these. I think the odds are very good of winning today. Although there are 18 people here, that's amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming and joining me in Zoom so spontaneously. Who else has joined Zoom? Louisa, cool. Hi. You just kept hanging out after your live stream? Cool. So the Uma Thermathon is finished, or you've still got one to draw? Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. You're welcome. So Shannon did a live stream yesterday of Uma Thurman and Maya, her daughter. Birds together. Can alternate between human birds and avian birds. Maybe the people drawing other birds. Yeah. Is anyone sketching along done live sketching in any kind of context, like at parties, just hanging out with people, or at events or whatever? I have some friends that caricature artists, which it's their bread and butter, live sketching at events. And it was kind of, it's been a year since we hung out with Chance McGee. It's wow, time flies. And just, watching them work and seeing the fun, interactive nature of what they do. It's like, that'd be so cool to do that. I'm still hoping that sometime I'll get the chance to sketch live with Chance, because I think he has so much fun, such a lovely guy. And no, he's in Dresden, which is not Berlin. What color is this? Yellow. I'll just put some of that down. Got some yellow on my brush. Christmas gold, that's what color that is. So as orientation for the color scheme that is desired, I was sent a photo of like a display which had some perfume, some decoration, and that I can kind of lean into that color scheme or incorporate those colors in the portraits. Yeah, I was wondering, should I bring my own smell or should I get some smell in-house? Because it was funny, October last year I did a gig for a perfume for Hermes, and they gave me perfume as a thank you gift. We all got perfume, and I haven't had any since I was like 20 or something. But then I thought I probably shouldn't wear that because that would be like a competitor's perfume. And but maybe they'll give me something. I don't know. Douse myself in some new scent. Who likes perfume? Who here wears perfume? I just have this organic, biodynamic sage deodorant that I wear, and usually I don't wear perfume. Yeah, biodynamic. That's the anthroposophical agriculture approach. It's called biodynamic, where it's a holistic approach to agriculture, which it starts from the soil, from the ground up. And oh yeah, I've been wearing it for years. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't smell it anymore, but that's funny that you have some paper that has been at this desk and it smells like that. So you smelled the sage? Ah, okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Kira and I both wear it, and Kira was wearing it when we met, and I was like, "Oh, I'll use that too." And so we both wear this sage deodorant. Although I have I would think I have my personal scent is often a bit stronger than Kira's, but the additional scent of sage is one that we share. Does anyone know the phenomenon of body odor smelling like weed? Yeah. What is that? It's the weed. What if you're not smoking and your body odor smells like weed? Oh, it's the skunk element. That's a nice description. Sometimes I smell like weed, even though I'm not smoking it. I know what it smells like. It's been a while though. It's not always the case. And I have also smelled other people smelling like it. Yeah, I wonder. Let me know in the chat if you've ever smelled like weed without smoking it. Yeah. All right, that was 10 minutes, but this is not Christmassy enough yet. What brush was I using for the green? Where is it? I'm just like, to give it like a unified feel, I'm just putting this, there it is. I'm just putting this like green box in the background. I've decided that's my thing for this. And when I was sketching for Hermes, their color is orange. I'm not sure if it's always their color, but it was certainly at the event that I was at. So everyone had an orange box in the background. I like this. It's really like, it's undefined. Like it doesn't have strong contrast, but I really like it. There's something cool about that. So I wonder if that's maybe that that flavor of restraint and lack of confidence in color application. Maybe that would just be my thing. All right, now if I put the paper too far over there, it's going to fall over. Watch me spontaneously improvise. If I wedge this sketchbook under there, can I stop it from falling over? Will it stay standing? Maybe. I like improvisation. Gianna, you wonder why you can only hear me? Because I have some friends talking to me in Zoom, and everyone's welcome to join us if you know how to get there. It's in my link tree, my on Instagram, my Zoom. And sometimes I think perhaps things that are said in Zoom, the people won't want to be heard on YouTube. And so I don't make it audible for everyone so that people can feel free to say whatever they feel like saying without any fear of the rest of the world hearing what they have to say. So that's why you can only hear half of the conversation. And if you would like to hear the rest, then find your way to my link tree on Instagram and join the Zoom room. Speaking of Zoom, tomorrow, every Tuesday, we sketch in Zoom, and you can come sketch with us. We will have just finished tomorrow. We'll have just finished sketching live in Zoom together. All right, next pose. Moving along. There are pigeons in Zoom. Unfortunately, I can't see what's going on, but I can hear you. But I'm happy to hear that there are pigeons in the Zoom room. I love pigeons. I had some really, when I was traveling back in the day, I really loved in big cities where there would just be like what do you even call it? When there's just like a conglomeration, a mass occurrence of pigeons. And I like them so much. They've got such a soothing sound, and they've got their magical shiny color feathers. Like they're so gray, and then they have those magical shiny feathers, and the whole head movement. There's something very comforting and wonderful about pigeons. Yeah, it is. It's so incredible when they all just take off and you're surrounded by that. And they also there's the sound of their wings flapping. It's such an amazing sound. So what is how did you and your pigeons meet, Louisa? Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Just become the pigeon person. Yeah, they're so cool. One morning, I think I'd been at a party, like an outdoor party through the night, and I was riding home. And then as the sun was rising, I got to this place, and there was a truck that opened up the side wall, and the trailer of the truck was just full of pigeons, homing pigeons. And so I don't know where these people had come from, but they must have driven through the night to come to this place. And at sunrise, they let the pigeons go. And I was like, I hadn't slept yet and been dancing all night and coming home and just saw all of these pigeons emerge from this truck. That was pretty special. Yeah, yeah. Send me off to bed. The flight of the pigeons. I wonder if those parties are still happening. There was a group, AK Tanzpädagogik in Göttingen, and they would do these really cool outdoor parties, like at lakes, and it's just so cool to be out dancing through the night in nature. And back in the day. All right, we're almost halfway. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah. For those of you who didn't catch Saturday, I realized throughout the process that I feel like I had stronger results when I was relying more on my pencil work and then would just like slap on a bit of color after I felt like my drawing was pretty strong. And I'm using polychromos pencils, which are not water soluble. So you can paint on top of them and the lines will stay intact. So after starting with a loose drawing, then painting into it, and then feeling like it was just really unresolved, I decided to do about, like, now we're reaching about the 6-minute drawing mark and try and get my sketch done to a point where I feel like it's pretty strong. And then like the paint on top is just the icing on the cake. Since that's what I've like practiced so much, and I feel like the strength of my work is a lot in the line work, and I can still say it's a watercolor painting if I just like spend 2 minutes broadly brushing on some watercolor. But I've still got 4 minutes to go. Where's my ring? I just realized I'm not wearing my ring and I don't know where it is. It's made of onyx, black stone. Okay. Thanks for the warning. All right. It's pretty. We've just had rabble rousers enter Zoom in the past when I've been live streaming, trying to stir up mischief, which I just find humorous, and then give them the boot. But the first times it happened, it was like, whoa, what's going on here? It's very noisy, very obscene, and just kick them out. That's why it's I'm very appreciative of my friends who, during the live streams, can do backup support in Zoom just in case anyone needs to be given the boot. I like this using the brush pen with the watercolor, because you can, as you're working on it, you can dilute it just by giving the pen a squeeze, which is nice. Since I find it hard to commit to bold colors, I can just be like, well, I'm going to squeeze some water into that and then soften things up. That works nice for me. Yeah, the subtlety of it, I think it can be really nice. I know a lot of work that I personally really enjoy is also quite pale and subtle, and there's also a lot of work I enjoy looking at which is really bold, and it's always I admire seeing the courage with which some people apply their paint. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice. They are quiet colors. So an interesting thing developing this process with these really quick watercolor sketches is that for a while I was using water-soluble pencils, and then I would get my drawing set up and be happy with it, and then I'd hit it with the brush and it would just melt. and then I would spend the rest of my time limit trying to fix, like restore what I had already drawn. And thanks to Ulrike Zelders, I was like, oh, what pencils are you using? Because she does these amazing, bold, vivid, timed portraits. And the line work is really present and visible. So I asked Ulrike, like, what are the pencils that you're using? Because they don't just melt when you brush into them. And she told me that they're the polychromos pencils. So I got some of those and have been using them for this technique. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, because the paint, it's just so wet. So that, yeah, it needs time to dry. So what I'm doing also with these lighter colors, it's quite, there's not a lot of water and there's not a lot of pigment, but it dries fast. Yeah, and that's the thing, because I've tried that as well, and I'm sure there are people who do it amazingly. I've tried starting with paint and then putting my line work on top, but then it's like, how to navigate, or I was using an ink pen, which then just bled into the wet paint, and I was like, oh no. So you've really got to know the materials you're working with, and yeah, but that would also be really interesting to try. Hi, Catherine. Oh yeah. That's funny. Enjoy the juxtaposition of the model's white beard and Dylan's dark beard in the window. There we go. Beard goals. Maybe one day I'll have a luscious white beard. Who knows? How's everyone doing? We've done 3 portraits already in this spontaneous live stream. I can't remember if I've already worked from this reference or not, but it's very cool. So let's do it. 10 minutes. I've ordered a timer, and it has a 10-minute preset. And because in the past when I've done the event sketching, I've had my phone and been using the timer like I often do in the live streams. But then if I've got it on all day, then I've got to make sure that it stays charged somehow. So I've actually invested in a timer, which may be a new character in upcoming live streams. I'm not sure. I think I don't know. What am I doing with these glasses? So that's going to be exciting, having a dedicated device. I looked up stopwatch. It's not like a traditional stopwatch. It's more like was listed as a kitchen timer. But can use it for whatever. Because no, that Gries in his live sketch speed dating, he has this handy digital timer. And for years, I've been looking at that thinking, oh, what a great thing to have. And I've taken the plunge and bought myself a €10 timer. Yeah. 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 Yeah, exactly. And it's probably it's because of the time frame that I'm going to need it for 8 hours. And then if I'm also if I'm potentially doing other things with the phone, or like if I'm taking photos, or if I'm going to use it as reference, it's like it may get tricky, or it may go flat. So I don't know. I presume and hope so. I hope I'll have a table. I actually know very little about what the setup's going to be like. I'll just take my gear, hope I have a place to put it, but I imagine I will. Yeah, exactly. I don't need too many details. I just got to show up and sketch, and they'll take care of the rest. This is interesting. It's like the metro ticket, or the subway ticket in the hand. It's really interesting. Just the bounce light coming off of the face, onto the face from the ticket down here. It's really cool. It's fun when you see an image and you're like, wow, this is so cool. And then as you start drawing it, and you start to notice the interesting things that are happening as you're working your way around the image, and start to see what's so cool about this. And I love this like big. It's just like these big shadow shapes are really cool, and that bounce light is because otherwise it'd be quite dark the face in here, and it's a really nice touch. Yeah. 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 And it's really interesting that that process of refining your observational powers and as you keep practicing and working on all these pieces and have really whatever it is you're working from, that yeah, you just train yourself to see more and more, and it's a really enjoyable process to just learn to see. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's so nice. And so in the past, he was not really interested, or he was, but it was just didn't. Mhm. Nice. Oh, cool. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. Our 10-year-old is really into money and things, and it'll be really interesting to see where that takes him. Yeah. 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 How the pendulum swings. Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool just to provide the context for kids to grow and expand and learn and move into whatever kind of area that they calls to them and whatever they're interested in, and who knows what they, where they're going to go, what they're going to bring to their chosen field. And Mhm. Yeah. 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 Oh, this is a cool image. um Welcome back. Excellent. Oh, this is such a good photo. I just realized, because I was thinking, have I already done this? And I remember sharing this image to my stories, but I haven't worked on it in the past. But it's really cool. It was interesting with Icon. It's less so now. I think he's still kind of interested, but it doesn't seem like a main dominant area of focus. But I've never really been into cars, and got my license fairly late, and also kind of take issue with some things about the polluting, the reliance upon like, there are some things it's good to have a car for, but it's just kind of like the way the whole industry is very prevalent and dominant, especially here. And Icon was so into cars, and it's like, okay, that's his thing, and just to be open to let him explore whatever interests he has, and who knows, like, and that was kind of the thought, like, what will he bring to that, if it's something, and there are also phases, maybe just move through and move on to something else, but if that's really his calling, to just let him grow into it somehow. Yeah. Yeah. And there's very interesting, I feel like it's a multifaceted saying that it just often comes back with great kind of relevance in many different situations. But what you resist persists, and whether it's like looking at towards the kids and the choices we make in education, or our own issues. It's really interesting to think of things that way, and then also in greater societal kind of approaches and attitudes towards things. It's an interesting perspective. Yeah, well, it's interesting, like, thinking of that, like, I don't talk about it a lot, like, on social media, but I have very clear ideas and perspectives on things that happen, and I'm aware of many of the, like, horrors that take place all the time. Like, right now, as a pretty acute situation, as we're no doubt all aware of, with the genocide taking place. One of the most recent episode of one, like, there's so many things happening like all the time. It's not just Palestine, it's so many places, and it's always happening. And for me, it's like an ongoing challenge to, like, I'm aware of what's going on, and wonder, like, what can I do in the world to kind of contribute towards peace and beauty and understanding, and yeah, like shutting it out, or trying to shut out that kind of stuff. If we're talking about that in the sense of resisting being aware of what's happening. I guess at some point it's probably healthy to, if you're like, to know how much of it you can kind of take in, what you can process, and then just to mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Or and it's like at every scale and every kind of context that's relevant, because it was like, if you hate drawing hands and just avoid them, like it's going to be an ongoing challenge. And oh wow, cool. There you go. Yeah, not the first person to be challenged by their hands in our Tuesday sessions. Yeah, something really helpful I read in a blog post about hands was that someone said about developing, like when we do quick sketches, gestural drawing, we develop a shorthand, so an abbreviated way of representing things. And the idea of shorthand for drawing hands, like, and I have my way of just doing like this, especially in the quick sketches, really quick ones. It's just like this big blocky form, and not worry about fingers or anything. It's just like a big outline, and then if you've got more time and feel like it, you can kind of get into it. But the idea of you have develop an abbreviated visual language for the way you represent complex things, and that was something that was really helpful to my getting comfortable with hands or whatever complex things want to be drawn. Yeah, and just having that regular practice is so helpful. I'm feeling pretty good about these. They're, of course, very strong photos, like really powerful reference to work from, which is always such a gift and so helpful, just to have incredible reference images to work from. But I feel like the practice on Saturday, the live stream, like it started off and I was kind of, the first couple, I was like, oh, what should I be doing? Just finding my way. It's interesting now. I feel like being in the practice a bit more, kind of tuning into what I hope to be able to, or what I intend to do at the event on the weekend. You're going to bed? Yeah. Okay. Sweet dreams. Take what out? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Night night. I'm thinking after this one, we've got 2 minutes left. I have space on this paper for one more. So that'll probably be it for today. And I'm so happy that so many of you just jumped on here and came to sketch with me. And I'd love to see your results. So if you are sharing, whether in posts or stories or whatever platform, you can tag me, and I'd love to see and share your work as well. Use this tag over here, hashtag drawing with Dylan. There's also hashtag 10-minute portrait, which I've been using in all these 10-minute streams. Oops. I'd be interested to know, since this was so spontaneous and no one planned to be here, let me know in the chat what you would have been doing if you weren't here sketching with me. Would you be knitting in the dishes? Cool. Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Nice. And Shannon, you wanted to draw with Grease and somehow couldn't get into his stream. Cool. All right, cool. My pleasure. Thank you for joining, everyone. See, like, I've left out this big shadow here. I'm just going to leave it how it is. Time's up. And it feels, I feel kind of content with it at this, in this state. So just leave it like that. Okay. I have 3 more references. I'll just go with the next one and maybe use the others in another stream. This also has really nice clear shapes and oh, what's happening? This is stuck. The paint has glued it to the easel. Okay. How's everyone doing? Still 17 of you here. Very good. So this is fairly in focus. Okay. Last one. I've had 2 with a green preliminary drawing, 2 with a magenta, and 1 with blue. So this will be blue too. So this photo was actually taken in the barbershop, I believe. So fresh hair, perhaps from David himself. And that was really cool. Like when we got to hear David's origin story and how he got into street photography, and they said that he'd often be taking photos of people in the barbershop, and then it kind of expanded from there to people on the street in front of the barbershop, and has turned into full-fledged street photography holidays in other countries. And just the progression of taking it from a really familiar place, his place of work, and expanding out from there was just such a cool, like, organic development of his passion and art. Yeah. 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 That was the second episode of Drawn Together. So like a year ago. Yeah. 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 It was such a good chat. Um, and I knew David's work because of Pixel and Brush, Mayur, who had done a bunch of sketches, drawings from David's photos, and I just saw them like, wow, they're really wonderful drawings that Mayur was doing, and then that directed me to David's Instagram. It's just like blown away, such incredible photos, and I was just like, oh, could I sketch some of your photos in a live stream? And so I did a 10-minute portrait live stream with ink from his black and white photos. And then I think was like, oh, would you like to come on as a guest and actually have a chat? And he did, and it was so nice. Changed through our conversations, definitely expanded. Um, yeah, just like because it was one thing, like just drawing from his reference, and it felt like traveling. And I was like, oh, it's like being on the streets of Boston and New York and just seeing all these incredible faces and so much character. And it was like, I felt like transported by that. And then when we actually got to talk with David and hear about his process and just see and experience that so much of his character comes through in his photography, like the way he's engaging with people, and that was super inspiring. Yeah, I definitely like thinking back on that particular conversation. Like it was like really felt, I guess, expanded. Like really learnt a lot from him, and just felt very energized from his passion and way of being. Yeah, with every guest, it's like, oh, new friend if it's someone that we didn't really know before, or someone just known through admiring their work, and then actually get to hang out and be with them for a couple hours. It's always enriching. Yeah. Yeah. But when it does align like that, that like there's something about their work that resonates so strongly with you, and then when you actually connect with them and like, oh wow, they like you really see them in their work once getting to know them, and then which is not necessarily always the case. That like you as the perceiver, um putting your own perception and your own experience into the way you interact with the work is one thing, and then perhaps you wouldn't find that necessarily in the personality of the creator. But that's also a beautiful thing, because independent of the person who made it, it's like this thing that they've made lives on, and you and anyone else who interacts with it has like a unique relationship and experience, which is pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's nice when it does align, and then you can be like, wow, that person and their work, so inspiring. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that as well, definitely. It's like a reflection. I guess the way we experience and project things onto what we experience is definitely it's really a reflection of ourselves. And I knew it from the moment I saw David's work. I was like, oh, I want to be on the streets. I want to travel. I want to be meeting these people. And I was definitely projecting that kind of desire to be in the world and engage with strangers on the street. Like I could totally see that. And when we were talking to Mafalda, I think that was something I was saying. Like I was just seeing she's so young and doing such awesome work, and she's doing these incredible murals, and I think she's yeah, it was interesting because I definitely there was also aware of my projection and that I was just totally inspired by what she's doing. But then of course it's we see what's shared on Instagram, and it's always a curated experience. It's not the whole picture. And yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's been from episode to episode. In case anyone here, on the off chance that you're watching this and you don't know what Drawn Together is, but you're only hearing my part of the conversation. But Shannon and I, most Thursdays, we have a guest on and we do a longer portrait as we have a conversation with them. And from show to show, like each person is often like sometimes it feels like really chill and relaxed and really awesome, and then some episodes it's like it was great when Camila was on, and Shannon and Camila were both drinking coffee and like both buzzing, and for me it's like it's almost bedtime. And with Camilo, like yeah, I noticed at the beginning you were both like with your coffee, and then you're both like talking a lot, and it's really cool. Yeah, that was so funny. Yeah, with Nicolas Uribe, it was it was just like so funny. There were so many funny moments in that, and it was that was really different. Also a bit of we just love Nicolas's work, and having him on as a guest. That was like in the beginning. It was like when we were thinking about dream guests, and we have a list there. We haven't gone through them all yet, but yeah, having him on and just like it was just so cool and so funny. The 10 minutes is up. I'll put my little Christmas box in the background. How's everyone? What's that? Yeah. Yeah, and that's also a good thing to notice, like that fan energy, to meet people and be like, oh, they're people, Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. So speaking of drawn together, because I'm leaving early Friday morning to go to Berlin, I think they won't be drawn together this week, but next week we'll have Danilo Kato on, which is going to be really fun. Funny guy and inspiring artist. Yeah, and that was the live stream. Thank you, everyone, for being so spontaneous and just jumping on and hanging out. How's everyone done? How do you feel about your sketches today? I'm just gonna take this down and have a look. Oh, look, I can fit 3 on the screen. Thank you for joining. It was a lot of fun. And extra special thanks to my Zoom friends. But thank you to all of you on YouTube. If you liked this and you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, you could do that. And oh, I like this one. I really like this too. Like the lack of definition. This is maybe like, I don't know. This is really cool. So I hope that I will have the perfect lighting and interesting shapes in my subjects' faces to work from in Berlin. And as I mentioned, I'm doing a workshop. There are still 3 spots available. So if you're going to be in Berlin or can make it to Berlin and want to do a workshop with me on Sunday, get in touch. You love 4 of mine, but don't like 2. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm keen to see what you've done. I think the first one is maybe my least favorite. If we want to kind of put a value judgment on these things, but it was the first one. Although sometimes I have done live streams where the first drawing has been my favorite. That can happen too. But I feel like overall, these are consistently, I feel more content with these than the ones I did on Saturday, which is a good sign. It could be because the reference is just so good. Thank you, David. Or it could just be like the ball is rolling and just got to keep it happening so that the event will be great. Thank you for being here. Whoa. If only you could all see the things on my desk and the potential for things to get knocked over. And it's a special place here in my little cave. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. You're all such wonderful internet friends, and perhaps we'll get the chance to meet in the real world someday. So yeah, this is really cool. That on Sunday it's going to be the first, calling it a drawn together workshop, although it's not me and Shannon and a guest, but the whole spirit of drawing together and connecting and sharing that experience of creating and drawing together that's the thing. And so perhaps it will be the first of many drawn together workshops. And Shannon and I were also saying perhaps there'll be a drawn together retreat, and we will meet and have all of our guests that have ever been on the show. They'll all be there and you'll all be there. And that would be so amazing. What a dream that would be. So who knows? That could be a thing. We can make it happen. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing your work. So tag me on Instagram if you're sharing there, and hashtag drawing with Dylan. Thank you all so much. And I'll see you soon. And come draw with me tomorrow on Zoom if you want to do practice some quicker sketching than this. Zoom is always open, 7:30 German time every Tuesday. See you there.